Hi, today I will talk about the mind's eye and scoliosis. Did you know that people born blind don't get idiopathic scoliosis? People with cortical blindness, where the occipital lobe is damaged, are also protected against schizophrenia and psychosis. What's the connection between being blind and protecting you from scoliosis and schizophrenia? I read that a congenitally blind person doesn't use visual inputs to construct reality. This means the brain doesn't get overwhelmed and confused by seeing and making sense of confusing visual stimuli. People born blind don't see the micro expressions of their parents and family. So, their mind is not confused by mixed signals, the incongruence between what they are saying and their facial expressions. In his eye opening book, Bioenergetics, Alexander Lowen explains this. Looks, as I have said, are far more potent than words. Often they belie the words. A mother may tell a child she loves it, but if her look is cold and distant and a voice flat or hard, the child will not get the feeling of being loved. It may actually feel just the opposite. This will produce a state of confusion, which is neurotically resolved when the child, in his anxiety to believe the words, turns against his own sensing. Not seeing protects the mind from creating narratives and stories, which messes up our thinking feeling construct. Nothing is more stressful to our brain than dealing with an inconsistent, confusing environment. Is this person safe or unsafe? Is this person telling the truth or lying? Our brain is a meaning making machine. It tries to make sense of our environment, uh, continuously anticipating, interpreting, guessing, and perceiving. This influences our reality. Our brains cannot tolerate uncertainty and unreliability. When there are discrepancies in our environment, figuring out what is real and unreal creates turmoil in our minds. Our brain gets stuck trying to make sense of the inconsistencies. This keeps us ruminating for years on end. We see, we feel, we analyze, and ruminate. I was stuck in the same intrusive thought cycle of rage, anger, hurt, wanting to be loved and cared for. Thinking and feeling the same thing every moment of my waking life kept me frozen in the hurt child state. This keeps our energy blocked and doesn't allow us to move ahead in life. To heal, we have to mentally resolve our inner conflicts and confusions. I realized in any relationship, there is no sometimes good, sometimes bad. That's intermittent reinforcement, which is abuse and a total mindfuck. Consistency is the hallmark of a good relationship. Even though you are not in a good mood, you are not supposed to dump it on someone else, particularly a child. Post my mother's death, there was such craziness going on. The about face of the people of my family was very confusing. The world that I knew when my mother was alive was completely different from the reality of what it became after her death. The people who I thought would be there for me did an about turn. The utter confusion about what to believe and not to believe, what was real and unreal, kept churning in my head. Their two-faced behavior, one time nice, another time mean and abusive, created cognitive dissonance in my mind. Cognitive dissonance is the discomfort or tension that arises when one holds conflicting thoughts, beliefs, and feelings. My father put on a show for guests, while behind closed doors he was a violent ogre. My maternal grandmother, the village healer, a saint in her mind, was an expert in cold, silent treatment. The mean, rich uncle made arrangements for my brother and me to go to the church fair, but then made fun of my clothes and body. The list is endless, but you get the gist. The hot cold, Jekyll Hyde, and playing pretend messed with my sense of reality. I thought I'd go mad. To hold on to my sanity, I developed betrayal blindness. I went along with their inconsistency, fakeness, and deceit. Being in a state of confusion and conflict, where one's thoughts and feelings are in a constant tussle, can overload one's nervous system. On top of that, one is expected to love, respect, honor, obey these abusive jerks. It was too much for a child to handle. I read somewhere that the body of the child may take a blow to itself just to prevent itself from a mental and psychological breakdown. Scoliosis occurs to prevent a person from breaking down emotionally. We break in the mind, schizophrenia, or the body, scoliosis. This distorting my inner knowing and repressing myself to fit in with the warped expectations of my family twisted my spine. Your mind and body cannot live the life forever. Alexander Lowen, in his book, The Betrayal of the Body, discusses in detail how the body adapts to the terror and confusion in the environment. The unresolved emotional conflicts of childhood are structured in the body by chronic muscular tension that enslave the individual by limiting its motility and capacity for feeling. These tensions, which grip the body, mold it, split it, and distort it. In my last video, I explained how our eyes, when stuck in a state of hypervigilance, affects our posture. This becomes our default self state. This maladaptive self state becomes fixed, stuck at the time or age of our trauma. It freezes our emotional development. When our brain gets too overloaded to cope with distressing experiences, it shuts down. Our brain loses its response flexibility. Mentally, we remain that triggered, confused child. For years, I felt and often behaved like an unsure, fearful 13-year-old. Changing this frozen mind state is one important key to healing scoliosis, but it is not easy. There is a maze of forgotten memories and feelings to unravel. Arthur Janov of Primal therapy emphasizes the need for a person to connect with, feel, and release the pain of earlier childhood traumas. We have to travel back in time to uncover the emotional repression, unresolved conflicts, fearful avoidances, and make sense of them in order to understand the why of who we are now. So we no longer need the crutch of our defenses and our adaptations. There were so many aspects of myself I had to repress. I had to keep silent, not speak up, not ask for anything, always be of service, and most of all, hide being a woman. Healing from scoliosis has meant shining the light on the truth of what happened, what I had to deal with, and how I had to cope. I had to stop the self-denial, self-gaslighting, self-deceit. Starting my blog and sharing my experiences was the first step. The feedback I received played a huge role in changing how I saw myself. I no longer feel ashamed and bad about exposing the real truth. It is a slow process of shifting the I am bad, I am flawed, I am not good enough introjects. Most of all, I had to stop being unsure, confused, and conflicted about the people who harmed me. I had to take off the muddy glasses of confusion and see reality as it is. Your mind can't be pulled in myriad directions by love, hate, need, or hope about the people who harmed us. There cannot be any loyalty honor, trust, or attachment to people who don't see us as human. There should be no guilt or shame for calling out bullshit. We have to have clarity of perception and stop spinning unnecessary stories or excuses about how things were. We accepted and adapted to survive. But now we are safe and can shed the self protective armor of our minds and bodies. In our mind's eye, we have to stop playing the expected family or social narrative of being the good, nice, bigger person to our souls. Doing that leads us to distort ourselves. We have to stop applying normal rules for abnormal people. In our mind's eye, how we see ourselves is largely affected by the mirror through which we see ourselves. American sociologist Charles Cotton Cooley coined the term looking glass self. A person develops a concept of self by observing how she or he is perceived by others. I am not what I think I am. I am not what you think I am. I am what I think you think I am. All we need is one significant person in our lives who will mirror us positively. I've been fortunate to have an adult child who sees me, loves me, and accepts me. This is where therapy, a positive relationship, helps heal scoliosis. To heal, we have to have someone who is safe and sees us as human, deserving of love, respect, and care. As I heal, I feel there was so much of me that is atrophied due to the complete neglect of me as a person. Parentification was particularly harmful because as a child, despite taking on babysitting duties, there was no monetary compensation, nor were there any kind words of gratitude. After helping my grandmother take care of my cousins who were left in her care, she'd go completely cold turkey on me when she didn't require my help. I bore the utter hurt of this incongruent behavior for years, till one day, like most victims of this kind of insidious abuse, finally woke up and smelled the shit I tolerated because they were family. To shift your mind's eye, you have to find something else to focus on, a hobby, a skill set that keeps your mind entrained in creating rather than ruminating, something that builds self efficacy and a sense of mastery. To change our personality, we need to create a new personal reality. Our brain changes and forms new connections when we do new things. We have to be in different spaces with new and better people, learn new things, be okay with our feelings, and feel comfortable with who we are. For me, who is technologically challenged, learning Canva and creating and editing videos have helped shift my mind to another self state. The dopamine hit I got when I realized that I could make videos was thrilling. Learning a new skill creates new neural connections in our brain and also increases our innate self esteem and confidence. Another way to shift your mind's eye is to go traveling, hiking through foreign territory. Nothing like doing the Cheryl Strait kind of trip through unknown terrain. Having to navigate as if your life depends on it shifts your mind's eye from your past trauma to the present challenge. Novel experiences stimulate the brain's ability to adapt and rewire itself. This can lead to increased cognitive flexibility, improved mood regulation, and a more confident mental state. Listening to guided meditations and healing music can also shift your mental state. Paul McKenna has a great one on confidence, which uses bilateral stimulation and music. This has been very helpful in changing my mood and emotional state. There is no single way to change your mind's eye Often it's an amalgamation of different things and modalities that co-create change. Daily work, belief, and one supportive, caring person are the essentials. Last but most importantly, one must believe that healing scoliosis is possible. As someone with scoliosis, it is hard to imagine having a straight spine. So I keep a picture of a straight, sexy spine. See it, feel it, embody it, dream it. The image has to be imprinted in your subconscious mind. Seeing a straight spine and believing it's a possibility is what miracles are made of. I believe, so I keep doing the work daily to heal scoliosis. Check out my fermented hibiscus drink.